It is a terrible thing when brother takes up arms against brother. The lands in the south run red with the blood of kings and their kin, whilst to the north the winds carry the bitter chill of war. Winter is coming, say the Starks, but they say nothing of the tempest that already dwells within their lands, a storm centuries in the making. Summer will end soon enough, and childhood as well. A sister lost, a brother returned, a family changed. In a time of turmoil, can they trust their allies? Can they trust their family? The North remembers, and the children of House Braddock cannot forget.
Trailer bop. So yeah, hello everybody. Welcome to For the North, our Game of Thrones Song of Ice and Fire campaign, powered by Green Ronin's Song of Ice and Fire role-playing game. I am Susie, and I will be your game master this evening. The emergency exits are here, here, and here. Please no smoking on board this vessel. And before I make any more terrible air hostess jokes, I'm going to move on to my friend here, JOHNNYBLAMZ. Hi, Johnny. How's it going?
It's going, friend, and you?
Yeah, it's going.
Oh, yeah. Today feels different. It's freezing in the apartment even more than last week, so like I felt super immersed just like waking up, and as we're sitting here in the pre-show, I gotta admit I got the pre-show jitters, not because I'm forgetting my lines because we don't have lines, but because I'm just like so excited to see what happens today. Just so much juice was uncovered last episode, and it's like, holy crap, I am terrified and excited all at the same times. I'm JOHNNYBLAMZ. I play Brynden Braddock, the now slightly deranged teenager who went off on an excursion in the woods and came back semi thinking he's demi-mortal. So we'll explore that today, and I'm very excited to see what becomes unsheathed from that. Yeah.
We shall see. You know, visions of children of the forest notwithstanding. We move on to Shauna. Hi, Shauna. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. It's the last one for thing, and I'm excited to get the family together. Hopefully, see what happens. My girl got her goddamn heart broken by a shitty boy, so emotions are high for both the twins are maybe are in places. So yes, I play I'm Shauna FLYINGSCIRIUS. I play Riona, the youngest of the Braddock twins, and let's see, can't wait.
Hell yes. So I'm not gonna lie, Shauna, I saw that video of the footage of you playing the spy in TF2, and I was like, if Riona did that, I wouldn't be mad about it. You went beast mode in that thing. Jeez, it was scary, but very impressive. All right, someone who is also scary, very impressive, but a teddy bear at heart is Bill. Hi, Bill.
Hello. There's a lot. I feel like we were world building, we were establishing this beautiful world, building relationships over the first half of the season, and then we went from like the bunny hill at the ski resort to like 4 double black death diamonds here in this last episode, because no one's gonna make it out of this at least unscathed. There's a lot. I can't even normally when I role play, I like to okay, I can see this happening, I can get behind that, I can maneuver myself emotionally in a way to get behind like a character, but like I'm super on my toes for this because I have no idea what to expect. None at all. And that's terrifying and glorious, because it's like Susie knows me well enough, I feel, and the players well enough to be able to put us in these situations where we can't foresee where the plot's going to go. And I'm just so excited. And also to this community of players that I'm with right now, who are amazing and awesome to play with. Any moment is going to be a joy. The most tragic of happenings in this storyline will be a joy compared to some of the darkness that's out there. So I'm very thankful to be able to do that with them, and you, Suze, and you, chat.
No.
Okay, and that's it. I'm done.
Let's save our emotional goodbyes for the end. But moving on up, we got the wonderful Prax. How you doing?
I'm okay. I'm fine. I feel like Lyneth thinks she's prepared to deal with things, and then she's gonna get home and possibly slap a pirate out of her chair. Be like, not in my house, bitch. But hi, I'm Prax. Prax with SMA4. You see me around in Twitch, and I get to play Lyneth Braddock, the better half of Married to Brolin, a former Tyrell. Come on, Brolin would admit that.
Yeah, he would. He would.
Yeah, I'm not. Absolutely.
And we will all survive and then help Riona kill a guy who broke her heart. It's fine.
Yep. Hey, Trooper!
So, just side note, I do have poisons in case they're necessary for Manderleys. I mean, I hear that they like pie. I just feel like there's spices you could put in pie made out of their children, if one was so inclined. Just a side note. Although I don't know. Maybe she should marry him first and then murder him. You know what? We can talk about that later. We can talk about like good family bonding, which might involve cannibalism, murder, and poisoning, and stabbing, and then also pushing down. Like, I just feel like we can talk about it. I feel like it's fair. I'm Trooper SJP, and I do not poison people in real life. As far as you know, there's no evidence of that at all. And I am playing Nymor, no last name, although it's Martell, the Maester, who is a person who believes in the greater mysteries and also helping the House Braddock, and is practicing swimming right now, in a coma, but it's gonna get better. It's fine, like comas are like whatever. It's not a big deal. And I'm gonna share all of my weepy emotional feelings about how great this game is and how great Susie is and how great everybody else is. I'm not going to talk about that now. I'm going to talk about it later, but it's coming. Compliments are coming. It's like winter.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, God. As a British person, that's the worst thing you could have said to me. How could you? But yeah, I'm really hyped too. Let's get into this finale. And I have to say, for legal reasons, everything Trooper just said is a joke. Lawyers, police, FBI, anyone listening, humor.
I did say that there's no proof of me doing anything. Right?
Uh-huh.
Hey, NSA, how you doing?
And on that wonderful note, let us begin with our grand finale. So, it is cold and dark and wintry at Winterfell, as the name implies. The snow is coming down thicker and heavier than it has done this entire time that you have been here. The mood in the castle itself is, on the surface, joyful and celebrant, but there is an underlying tension that can be felt everywhere. There is no reprieve from it. Even a quiet corridor, it feels like it's waiting in anticipation for something to happen. But it is on this evening where most of the lords that had assembled here have begun their preparations to leave over the next couple of days. Lord Stark has held his court. He's introduced himself to his new lords. He's established his own sort of mini council. But, after a certain amount of time, y'all got to go home and stop squatting in his castle. So it is on this evening where Lyneth, Brolin, and Riona, you find yourselves once again together. And in the process of reassembling your goods, you're not going to do the most of the heavy lifting and the packing. That's what servants are for. But you're doing your part of it. You're overseeing. Yes, that in that box. Mm-hmm. And you find yourselves alone. Because as we know in Game of Thrones, serving people in the background just don't exist. They're just not people. They're not.
Just double checking, they're all our servants that came with us?
Yes, your servants that came with you. Yes. Very important to distinguish.
Except for that one that's just lurking there in the background. That's weird.
The one with the notebook that's like,
Yeah, that one.
The one with the really long trench coat covered in knives.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. See, well, other people may think that servants are just window dressing. Tyrells remember their real function.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, wait, how long has it been since, does Brolin still look like shit?
Brolin looks awful, and this is a story thread that I had forgotten to pick up there in our opening crawl, but you would have gotten word that Brolin had been discovered by the Manderley men that had come to escort you to the house. And he had been taken for treatment. So Brolin, you're in a fragile state right now. Your guts have been stitched. You're covered in bandages and ointments. The maester this time has basically said that if he finds out that you've moved or done anything strenuous activity, that he will kill you himself. So you are like on bed rest almost. You are like, do not do anything strenuous, do not even raise your voice because you'll probably die.
Hot. Cool. Yeah. So that's where I'm laying down. I'm chill. I'm relaxing.
I think Lyneth is like directing servants quickly. She's like, we need to get out of here. And then, but periodically looking back at Brolin, like every time he goes to like reach for a cup or something and just like deadpan glaring at him, like, don't move. It's just like, stop. And then how is Riona right now?
This is a little while. She is, I think, withdrawn a great deal, I think she's helping Brolin with like if he needs anything, but other than that, she's been kind of like maybe in a corner or like outside, like by herself, I think.
I think like once everything's mostly packed into trunks and most of the servants have left, Lyneth is going to turn to Riona and say, I'm very sorry, dear. We are going to have to, unfortunately... Well, we will not be going through with this wedding.
Well, not the way things are now.
Yes,
they can't
don't
get packed
think
fast
treason
enough to get out of here.
Yeah, I don't think treason is a good look for anyone in our family.
I
no.
tried, but one moment. Did I miss something while I was getting stitched up?
A lot, apparently, darling.
I thought, Riona, that we sent you up there so you could follow your heart.
And now I wish I had never come. So that's where we're here now.
What happened?
I don't want to talk about it right now. I'll talk more out of here. No. I hate this place.
I don't.
Do I have to fight
No.
someone?
And there's a turn and a
birthday.
raised eyebrow looking at Brolin up and down and going, not now, you're not.
Well, if it's that stinking kid, I could fight him with no limbs and win.
Well, you're in a state where you're functionally bedridden, so as much I'd like it, that'll have to wait. The best we can do right now is just leave.
You know the question that Lord Stark wanted answered, darling?
Yeah?
I have that answer. And unfortunately, Roland is a part of that answer. So,
Should we tell Lord Stark?
I believe we should, but perhaps has to be done in the right way, because right now everyone thinks we're still on board with treason.
Well, Lord Stark doesn't.
No, but the Boltons, the Manderleys, the Carewinds, and the Glovers do.
I could fight them with no limbs and win too.
Brolin Braddock,
You can't.
there's a point and if you dare attempt to do so, I will pull the most un-Tyrell thing in the world. I will cause a scene, Brolin Braddock.
Well, I guess that would make us even. 1-1.
There will be
And we can just be the
There-
dramatic people folks invite over for entertainment.
I don't wish to be dramatic. We are leaving. You're not dying. Riona's not dying. I'm not dying. The baby's not dying.
Right.
We need to make
All
sure
that
your
settled.
brother's fine.
I'm sure he's fine and not doing anything horrible. What will be the harm in sending a letter with our seal to the Maester to deliver in secret to Lord Stark with this information? He'll trust it's from us.
I had already planned to do that, darling. After we're out the door.
All right, now that I know, I will stop fighting you so hard.
Thank you.
And you can
I
see he's like,
appreciate
his eyes are closed. He's focusing on breathing and not getting mad and not getting upset.
If all else fails, Brolin, Winterfell is a very large castle. These are some very nice granite stones, and melted snow is a very big hazard. Staircases are such a problem for people. It'd be such a shame if somebody fell down them, like 6 or 7, and broke their neck.
I mean, you're right. But we'll be gone, so we won't enjoy that view.
But we can all imagine it, right, Riona? We'll just imagine the visual of that Poncy Roland Manderley falling repeatedly down the stairs, arse over a tea kettle.
Yes. Well. it
Getting
would be-
mud all over that very
Oh,
shiny
just-
outfit his mother put him in.
Yes. Well.
If he
He
fell
could
down
make
the
an
stairs,
ass
it
of
might
himself.
cause It might pop that little pimple on his forehead. Lord knows he wouldn't do it. Couldn't take the pain. Popping a pimple. Anyways, I'm done. I'm done being petty. It's beneath me. I'm a lord.
You are.
Oh boy. Okay, so is there anything else that you wish to cover before we have a little bit of wibbly wobbly timey wimey?
Lyneth would just make sure that that second letter is sent to Greenwall.
Okay, yeah.
And
Third letter.
before this moment, he would have also shared, if they found him, the letter, the missive from the assassin to Lyneth.
That's very important. So, yes. So, Lyneth, you see presented to you via Brolin the mark of execution for him, basically. The assassination orders, which is on this strange material that looks more like hide that had been tanned than it does paper.
Well. It's very good that you kept that, darling. We should add that with the letter to Lord Stark, evidence of when I add the name Bolton to the list of people who wish Lord Stark murdered.
Well, if digging my bag somewhere, I've got the dagger too.
And she'll kind of like go over and start digging through the bag, and at the same time being like that folding things as you're taking them out kind of thing, because everything is a little unkempt in the bag.
You see wrapped, I imagine, in some rag to give it almost a sheath, a very finely made stiletto dagger.
It is a very nice make. Be a shame if somebody returned it to Lord Bolton.
You want me to do that in the face, or
No. Brianna and I have told you. You're not moving.
I might, if I can't move my body, trying to move my mind, trick you into saying yes. Wouldn't be the worst thing.
I respect your dedication and attempts.
Well, there'll be several more of those on the way back to Greenwall. It's a game of numbers, really. You'll be tired. I'll get you once.
And she just kind of walks by and like pats him gently on the head. It's like, get some rest, darling. You'll feel better in the morning.
Ow.
And as Brolin contemplates the errors of his ways and plots how he can finally get trick his wife into agreeing to let him to do something on the way back home, we're going to pan across, away from Winterfell, back to the Wolfswood. Brendan, you, along with Rose and the two men that she brought, have cleared up camp and have basically, the way I imagine they're doing it is they pack it into the small boat that they have with them, and then they carry the boat between them.
Okay.
So Rose has stood before you and she says, all right then, Lordling, show us the way home.
All right, it's just this way. And I think I have a horse, right? I think originally when I set off on this journey, I have a horse. I'm also cool with not having a horse for cinematic effect, but I would assume I have a horse.
I think it's even more perfect, right? It sets up that divide between you and them if you have the horse and they're schlepping it on foot.
Cool. Yeah, that works for me.
And carrying a boat.
And carrying a boat.
They brought a boat with them that I imagine she does not carry, but her good co-workers do.
Yeah, her lads carry it. I mean, she is not shy of doing a bit of hard work too. I mean, you can tell, Brendan, with the time you've seen her, like when she's taken off her like outer layer, she's wiry, she's built strong, she's athletic. You know, she can put up with the rest of them, but you know, why is she gonna do it? She's got 2 blokes to carry it for her.
Right, gotcha. Cool.
And as you're walking, it is, you know, it's very early morning because you remember you woke from your dream in the middle of the night, but didn't quite get back to sleep after.
Mm-hmm.
And the woods around you are quiet. They're eerily quiet. And you can hear, you know, the little skittering of critters here and there, but there's nothing larger that you can hear more than a rabbit or a squirrel. But timed with the effects, you hear a howl somewhere in the distance. Lydia, get out of my brain. And at that howl, Rose has her hands on her blades, not drawn, but ready. And she's got that wary eye where she's scanning all around the horizon. And I would like you do me an awareness notice test, if you wouldn't mind, please.
Gotcha. I got a 13.
A 13. Okay. All right. Let me just see how well. See how well these creatures do. A 16. Okay. So you are scanning the woods. With 2 6s too, damn.
Yeah,
You're
I was about
scanning
to say,
the woods.
damn.
You're scanning the woods and you're listening, you know. You're aware of these woods. This is your land. You know what's in them. But you don't see anything as you're walking.
He turns to Rose and says, I think wolves might be the last of your worries, if you're asking me.
What do you mean?
Let's just say, I don't think the Wolf's Wood is your normal forest. I think with that, he'd unsheath his bow and just keep riding.
I think Rose unsheaths her daggers and she has them loosely in her hands. She's not gripped tight, but she's definitely got them out and ready. And she's looking at you like, what the fuck are you on about? And you keep walking. You know, the underbrush is thick, and with the snow, which is, it's, you know, it's impeding your vision. It's difficult. There's that early morning fog that's set in too. So you can't see more than like 10, 15 feet in front of you. The trees just seem to keep coming at you from out of the distance. Before you hear it, the sound of a snapping twig and the heavy footfalls, paws almost, like a big, large creature. And you hear that low growl that starts deep within its chest as jumping out of the underbrush is a wolf, but a very large wolf. And it is glaring at you. Its fur is a dark iron gray color, and it's speckled with bright white, and its eyes are yellow and piercing and staring straight at you, Brendan, and its teeth are exposed, and you see its yellowed fangs and that saliva dripping from its mouth as it's growling at you. And I would like us to roll some initiative and do some combat. You get to use your bow finally.
Against maybe a dire wolf. Okay. Okay.
So initiative is agility, quickness.
Gotcha. Come on. Oh, bleh. I got an 8. Bad roll.
So the wolf got a 13, and Rose got... where did she go? Let me double check real quick. Where is her character? She got a 16, so Rose comes starts first, and she is going to let me think what she's gonna do. She comes around the horse, and she has her knives up. She's got them in sort of one in a reverse position, one in a stabbing position, and she's going to make a cautious attack at the wolf. She is. She's never fought anything quite this big before, quite this scary, as she's just gonna try and stab around it. So that's gonna be Oh no, not that many fives. 25 to hit the wolf, which is going to hit, unsurprisingly. And that's going to be her agility rank. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's a lot. That's like 20 points of damage she's just done to this thing. And she did get a 6 in there. Unsurprisingly, it's not wearing armor. So she comes in and oh no, wait, that should be one less because she did cautious attack. So, I mean, that's 15 now instead of 20 as she comes in, and she very cautiously finds an opening and dances around the wolf and jabs a knife into its side, and the wolf yelps and recoils back, but it is now going to try and bite Rose's face off because it doesn't like being stabbed. So that's going to make an attack at her, which is going to be Okay. It's going to be 4d6. And that is going to hit her for... Is she wearing her armor? I reckon she is. She's only wearing light armor as it is, so
They're
that's going to
traveling,
hit
so she'd
her.
be all kitted up.
Yeah. I was just trying to, not that you've got vested interest in her surviving or anything, That's going to be 1 degree of success. So she takes a nasty bite. I think the wolf latches onto her arm and rips at the flesh, and she screams out in pain as she still has her dagger plunged in it. But it is your turn now, Brendan.
Yeah, so I think Brendan in the moment wouldn't really have time to think, hey, I should get off my horse and shoot because I'm way more accurate. He would just take a shot from horseback. So I'll take a -2 die from that, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Oof.
But I am going to still fight. Yeah, big oof on that. So to start it off, I'm going to use my my pious feat. So I'll get 1, so it's just -1 test die. So this won't be the worst. Well, let's see here. Stay, Bo. Nope. Fires off a round, and come on. A 14.
A 14 is going to hit.
Let's go.
And then it's going to be 6, 12. That is going to be 3 degrees of success.
Cool. Does Vicious help me against a giant wolf or no? I don't think
Vicious,
it does, right?
I think that's just when you defeat an enemy, it's always death.
Yes. And it doesn't have armor, so armor piercing is irrelevant because I have deadly shot. Cool. Cool.
Okay. So where are you aiming for as you release this arrow, or are you aiming at all?
I think typically he would aim for the easiest portion to hit, which is right around the neck torso region. Typically a lot of archers and hunters, that's the typical go-to kill zone. So probably right behind the ear, depending on where Rose is positioned, but kind of avoiding hitting her as he thinks she's just the hot topic queen he's been searching for perhaps to travel the world with. So he doesn't want to hit her with an arrow. So he tries to avoid Rose and hits the wolf sort of in the mid neck torso region.
Okay, so the wolf has Rose by the arm and it's thrashing her, like a dog with a chew toy, when you're playing the tug of war with a dog. It's what it's doing with Rose's arm right now. And as the wolf's head is thrown to one side as he's pulling at Rose's arm, it exposes that neck shoulder area, and that's where the arrow sinks. And with a yelp, the wolf releases Rose's arm, and she heads back and she's takes a step back. She's bleeding heavily from the arm, but she's still standing and looks pissed. Her men behind have one has drawn a bow. The other is kind of looking around just to make sure there's no other wolves coming at. And the dude with the bow is just going to make a pot shot. Marksmanship 3. 9, which is going to hit the wolf. And that's going to, yep. Okay, so this other arrow just hits it just like in the flank. As this dude is just like, oh, and just flings an arrow. It hits the wolf. The wolf, again, like it's looking pretty wounded with the knife and the 2 arrows, and it's bleeding heavily out of them, but it's still standing. It's still full of rage in its eyes. And you can see that muzzle just foaming with blood now, with Rose's blood in its mouth, as it snaps its jaws. Rose is going to... She is actually going to back up away from it because she doesn't want to be mauled again with its arm. She remembered what happened to her arm. She doesn't want to get mauled again. So she moves away, but she is going to throw one of her knives with her left arm because her right arm is pretty fucked right now. So her marksmanship is not great. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see how she does. Just need to double check something real quick. Marksmanship thrown. Yeah, she doesn't really have anything in that. A 10 though will hit, and you see her dagger just out of nowhere just land into the other sort of shoulder of the wolf on the other side as she's maneuvered away from it. But the wolf is still standing, and it is going to it's going to attempt to leap at you, Brendan, and knock you from your horse. So it sort of backs up a little. Gets a movement before it throws its entire body at you and your horse. It's not just aiming for you, it's just like, fuck it, take both of them in one hit. So I'm going to try and make an attack. So what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to make an attack at you. If successful, I can forego all damage to pull you to the ground, is what this wolf can do. So we're going to do that. But it has to be 2 degrees of success on its test to do this to you, so we'll see. With a 15.
Oh, yeah. Combat defense is an 11.
An 11? That's only 1 degree of success. You good. So this thing comes at you and leaps, and I don't think you can hold your ground against a direwolf, because these are big things, but I think you maneuver your horse enough so that it's just a glancing blow, and you will take 5 points of damage from 1 degree of success. But that is absorbed by your armor, if you're wearing some, with your armor rating.
My armor rating is 3.
Okay, so you take 2 points of damage. Gets through the armor. It is now your turn.
I think he would move first, try and maneuver his horse a little further away, just so he's maybe out of this mega leap range, or as far as he believes to be out of mega leap range. And as he's kind of riding away from the wolf, take another shot back, kind of right behind the ear in the jawline region, still taking -2 this time. So what's that? Buffering. Oh, that's rough. It makes me look like I'm not good with bows. That's just sad. All right. Come on. Oh, that was a good one. 16, 2 6s.
2 6s. Okay, very nice. And that is gonna be. Oh my god, I'm a dumbass. I read this completely wrong. Its combat defense is actually 11. I was reading the wrong thing. So you got a 16, did you say?
Yeah.
That would be 2 degrees of success. So that is your bow damage times 2.
Bow damage time 2 is agility plus 2, so 10.
10. Very nice. So you wheel your horse around, you take that moment and you aim and you hit it right behind the ear. And as you do, you feel that momentum of the bow leave the string. You feel that release in your body. You watch the arrow. It sinks into the back of the monster's neck and it falls into the snow. And you hear that labored last breathing, that whining in its voice as it's just laying there, not the strength to stand, as it just bleeds from this wound.
And I think Brendan would get off his horse and slit its throat to make sure it quits suffering.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you feel that warm rush of its blood across your hand as you pull the blade across, but the whimpering stops and the beast is felled. And Rose stands there and she's clutching her right arm to her body. She's like, what the fuck was that?
That's a direwolf.
Fucking what?
It's like a normal wolf, but bigger. Much bigger,
Yeah.
obviously.
No fucking shit. Have you seen the size of that thing? Jesus Christ. Like fucking, oh, my arm. And she's like, as the cold air is hitting her arm and the blood is pouring from it, and she's like snapping at them and she's like, give me some fucking bandages.
Well, I'm just glad it didn't kill all of us.
Yeah, well,
It'd be a shame to let all this go to waste, but I don't think you're in any position to carry it, and it's not going to fit on my horse, so might as well leave it for the other wolves. And he like starts to like try to move the wolf, but obviously it's not moving at all because it's
far too
fucking
big.
massive. Yeah.
Yeah. Because our direwolves are proper sized, not that TV show bollocks. Anyway, so and she's like, in that though, I always thought shit like this was stories. It's not real.
Stories are real. That's what I was telling you before this thing jumped out of the mist.
Fucking hell.
And I'd hate to say it, this isn't the worst of the monsters.
Yeah, all right, no, come on, we're going. But before she does, she goes over to the direwolf's mouth and she orders one of her men with her to pull one of its fangs. She's like, this fucker nearly took my arm, so I'm going to take its teeth.
That's fair. That's better than letting it go to waste. Now you can say you killed a direwolf. It's not the worst day for you.
And she gives you like the most fuck you look before she kicks the direwolf's face. She bastard. And then heads off, once everything is gathered again. Come on.
Right then. And I think this encounter has definitely even more heightened Brendan's like, what the fuck is happening moment? Like, scary dream, scary dream, scary dream. Direwolf comes out of the woodwork. Like, when will this hellish scene end for Brendan? So the whole time kind of going, it's like tree to tree to tree. Like, what else do you have for me, Wolfswood? Please, just, what else is out there?
All right. I would like you to make me a survival orientation test. So, to get you back on track and back home.
That is not one of Brendan's few skills. A whopping, I was in the middle, even worse, an 8. I had a
8.
6 and then
Okay. So 8 is not the worst in the world, but it is going to take you a little longer than normal to get back home. You know, the snows have set in. It's covering a lot of landmarks that you would usually use to orientate yourself. There's this fog, which is obscuring things too. You have just fought a dire wolf. That is also kind of playing on your mind a little bit, you know? So it is slowing you down somewhat. I'm not going to say you're going to be lost in the woods and then that's how Brendan dies like Johnny in The Shining. But, you know, it's going to take a little longer to get back there. So you begin the trail back home. And I would like to do, because this is a finale, we've got a lot to cover, a little bit of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey. We're having some travel by map happening. So imagine a map of the north. There's a little from Winterfell to Greenwall, from half of the Braddock family. And then there's a little little turnaroundy blobble from Brendan getting lost. Before...
Opening credit sequence.
We arrive back at Greenwall, and this is going to be like 100% like a drone shot where you can see Greenwall from above. You see the men at arms on the walls walking as they see coming up ahead a small procession of horses with a carriage. As Lyneth, Brolin, and Riona, you return back to the keep. And you are greeted by your master at arms, by Winifred. They've assembled a small little greeting line of the house servants to update you on how things are going. They're all stood out there in the cold with their cloaks on, but they're there waiting to receive you as you arrive back at the keep.
I think Lyneth gets out of the carriage first, and she'll just like walk straight up to Winifred and say, "Thank you so much, I appreciate everything. We will need some assistance getting Lord Brolin upstairs. And we'll definitely need Nymor. Has anyone seen Nymor?"
And Winifred's face is like, it is that face of someone that has lost someone and their name has been brought up. And she is like, my lady, I don't quite know how to tell you this, but Nymor's taken ill, I think. He's been in his room for days, asleep, and no one can rouse him. I've tried.
There's this moment on her face of like that polite panic, but she can't let him. Mm-hmm. And where's Brendan?
No one knows, my lady. He was here one day and then gone the next.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, my lady. I've tried so hard.
Winifred, you are perfectly fine. Everything is wonderful. I need you to get as many people, guards on the wall. Get Mace to get the guards on the wall. Help me get a couple servants to get Brolin upstairs. We need a couple. Somebody should start heating some of the rooms. Riona has had a upset. She will perhaps need your comfort. And I'm going to go check on Nymor and see if Brendan left any notes or any information. Perhaps he merely had to deal with an event that unfortunately he couldn't talk to you about. Everything will be fine. Everything is fine.
And you can see Winifred's eyes are filled with tears. Yeah, and she's kind of suppressing a sob, a crying, but she's gone into business mode. You've given her a task, and she nods and she says, "Right away, my lady. I'll see it done." And she scurries off. And before long,
how close to the rest of us when this is announced?
I imagine it's not particularly close to the carriage. It's more towards the house. So Lyneth had to kind of walk up to have this conversation with Winifred.
And she'll like turn and look at Mace, who's the master of arms, and be like, "Lord Brolin will need help upstairs. Don't let him tell you that he's okay to walk up them by himself."
I know what he's like when he's taking a hiding, don't worry. I can see him.
We might need to double all of the guards at the gate. Perhaps. I feel that would be an appropriate response.
Anyone in particular you should be looking out for, my lady?
I feel that, mermaids, axes, gloves, and perhaps, flayed men might be a danger to us at the moment.
And it takes him a second for him to be like, oh, before he gets that look on his face. Because I think Mace is a very, salt of the earth, he doesn't hide anything on his face kind of guy. And he kind of goes, I see. I assume we'll have a talk about this later.
Yes. I had sent word and I had hoped that Nymor had been able to respond, or Brendan could have informed you, but I guess that didn't work. You concentrate on Brolin, I'll concentrate on getting Nymor up. And then she'll turn and just walk back up to the carriage and be like, Rihanna, I think you and I need to go talk to Nymor. Brolin, Mace is going to help you upstairs.
Wait,
And perhaps you can direct him on everything that's going on.
wait, where's... I expected both of my brother and Nymor to both be at... Where are they?
Brendan had to deal with a small matter of the small folk in the nearby area. He will be back shortly.
I don't believe that for a minute. Do I believe it?
Try me, darling. Go,
Oh,
you can
sorry,
go ahead and
press-
roll.
Please-
By all means,
please roll me.
by all means. We
Yes,
can
please.
have a small-scale intrigue. So, Lyneth, a deception bluff test, if you would not mind.
Yeah, no, I'll be happy to do that. You want to know one of the
On both
great
of us.
things about her doing deception bluff? She's courteous.
Oh!
So
So for those
that-
playing at home, courteous is a benefit that you can take in Song of Ice and Fire, which adds half your persuasion rank to your deception test, and you add your cunning rank to your passive deception when you are targeted by a retarget. It is a beautiful benefit.
she's just so nice.
I'm so
So
ready to
nice.
fail this.
So plus 3, 13.
13, okay. I would like
Yeah, I rolled really
Brolin
actually.
and Riona, if we're going to do this, for you to do a retarget.
Oh, a
which
retarget? Then I
is-
get to then that would be a different number.
Yes. I forgot that retarget was an action until I looked at my thing. I've only been playing this game for like 2 years. So retarget is an awareness empathy test from Brolin and Riona, please.
Against her cunning, right?
Yes. It goes
So
against
that's actually-
your it goes against your passive deception, but you get to add your cunning to that.
So that'll be a different number
Mhm.
than the 10.
Okay.
18.
Ooh.
9.
Riona beats it by 1. Brolin doesn't.
Oh my god.
So, Brolin,
entirely believes her.
she's hard to read. You know what Lyneth is like. She's got her ways. She's very skilled at using words. If there is an
Please don't
ulterior,
stop here. I believe you.
yeah, if there's an ulterior message to what she's saying, you cannot yet pick upon it. It's gone over your head. However, Riona, you're familiar with Lyneth's doublespeak, and when she's trying to get shit past Brolin, this is one of those times.
Yeah.
And,
I think Fiona's used to people kind of like, no, everything's okay, everything's fine, just like,
it's fine.
no, it's
And
not.
I think
Wait.
Riona makes, or Lyneth makes eye contact with Riona when she says this. It's like, we need to go talk to Nymor.
I think, yeah, she makes stuff like, okay, I suppose it's been a while. We should make sure everything is all right. According to knowing my brother, he's not kept up with anything that's not required bow shooting, so probably should get used to that.
Yes. And then I think
So-
Lyneth kind of turns and like puts a hand on Brolin and like leans in to like just kiss him on the cheek and is like, remember, don't walk up those stairs. Mace will help you.
As you do that and you lean over and kiss his cheek, Mace appears at the other side of the carriage and he goes, "Oh, stop getting my patient excited." And he's like, "Come on, Brolin."
Well, I was
Yeah, I think
instructed not
once-
to move. You gonna help me or what?
You're gonna be a smart ass or what?
Yeah.
It's gonna hurt you with a lot more than it's gonna hurt me. And he like leans into the carriage and starts like he puts your arm over his shoulder and starts helping you up and out of it. He like digs his elbow a little bit into your side just as a little like you bastard. Told
fuck
ya.
you. Okay. Well, you did it on purpose.
What? You can't prove no. Come on. And he starts taking you up to your chambers to get your rest. Meanwhile, Lyneth and Riona, the castle itself is very quiet, but it's as you would expect. You know, you've set tasks off, people are scurrying around, and you make your way up to Nymor's rooms, and the door is closed, but it is not locked. And as you enter, you can see Winifred has clearly been in here and she has tidied the shit out of his room. Everything's in neat piles. Everything's back on shelves. There is a little pitcher of water next to his bed, so just in case he wakes up and is thirsty. And you can see like there's a bowl here with a rag in it where she's been, like mopping him down, giving him as best as she can a bed bath that he doesn't, go all foisty and gross while he is sleeping. But there's definitely been a lot of care and attention paid to him here. And you can see him laid in his bed, unresponsive as you open the door.
I think she'll like let Riona in and then close the door and then lock it behind them.
Mm-hmm.
And what time is it?
I would say it's probably mid-morning by this point.
I think Riona is just gonna look at Winifred and say, "Oh God, what happened to him?"
Did Winifred didn't come with us?
No, she's already she's off doing
she's off.
Yeah.
Okay.
What happened?
Well, it doesn't. And she'll like go over and like kind of put her hand on the back of his forehead, kind of with her. It's like, he's not feverish. He may have ingested something, but we can't freak out about anything now. We have a lot to worry about. We need to see if perhaps your brother left a note about where he went.
Goodness knows where he is. No one knows where he is?
No, he was here one moment and gone the next, and Nymor has been like this apparently for a few days. And then she'll kind of like turn and look at Nymor and be like, if you wanted a break, we could have discussed this, but now is really not helpful.
Nymor, I would like you to roll me a willpower test.
Will something else?
Will
yes.
courage. Yes, will courage we did last time, I think.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. A 7. I'm just not ready. I'm not ready yet.
Oh no.
But in your fog, in that deep dark water where you make sense of the world but not, you can hear Lyneth, and you felt that slight pressure of her hand touching your forehead.
Wait, no. Lyneth? No, this is 2 weeks. Wait, how many days? It's not, no, this is too long. Maybe she's not here. No, this is... I look to see if the ships are still there, or I want to sort of look at the surface of the water and see where I am. You know, if I'm in this moment or a different moment.
So you look to the surface of the water and it's dark again. It's like looking at the sea at night. You know, you can see the waves. You can, you know, there is no clear light source, but there is clearly something up there. There is nothing. It's much like when you heard Winifred. You know, you didn't see Winifred, but you heard her, you felt her. There is no visuals here. You're not being taken back to a memory as far as you can ascertain.
Lynette? Oh. And it's sort of like this sort of a resigned sort of a thing, because I think he's been in this space for some time, and it feels timeless, and you don't even know if it will ever stop. And that sort of vague voice of Lynette is so distant, and like in this moment, willpower 7, it's not, he's not certain it's there or if it's just what he wants to hear. You know, like I think maybe he's like, maybe that's just what he wants to hear, and he's like, he can't necessarily trust it. It's all becoming a little bit, the bearings are hard, you know, like the sort of the space of what is up and down and what is just what he wants to hear and what is happening, what is a vision or not is becoming a little unclear for him at the moment. So he's having a hard time figuring out how to find his way out of this, or if he should or not. Is what I think that set means.
So as Nymor is wrestling with this in his own mind, Lynette and Riona, you know, you're having this discussion, and you hear just barely the end of Lynette. You hear Nith come from Nymor's lips, and there's a barely perceptible movement.
Rihanna, did Nymor ever teach you about his potions, his poisons, everything that he uses? Oh God, what is this stupid thing? The one for sleep. What is it?
Oh, I can't remember what. No, it's been a while.
What's the bloody name of this stupid thing? Nymor, wake up and tell me what the name of your own poison is, please.
Are there any healers in the area that we can find? It's been like this for days.
No.
You can hear all of this, Nymor. It's cloudy and muddy, you know, it's muffled in your ears, but you hear Lynette berating you, wake up, tell me the name of your own poisons.
And in my mind, this is we are back in Highgarden at the moment, and Lynette is 15, I think, at this moment. And I say, Lynette, you should pay more attention to these things. It's important to learn all of the details. I know this is perhaps not as exciting as some of the other things, but also health is important, and it's important to remember which of the grasses that you can imbibe and which ones not. This is. Are you paying attention? No. Okay. Yes. Your brothers, yes, but they're outside training with the pointy sticks and all of this at the moment. So you must tell me. Okay, start from the beginning. All right. If someone needs to be calm, there is more than one plant that can be used. Right. So from the beginning, agitation, sleep, agitation, pain. Name the two plants. You know this. The two plants. When it's pain or agitation. One is less addictive, but more dangerous in excess. The other is more addictive. Wait, where am I? No, Lynette, pay attention. This is important. There are two. Remember, name them for me. You have a very good mind. You've always been so brilliant. Your brothers can learn so much from you. You pay more attention. So, the first one, more addictive, less deadly. The other one, more deadly, less addictive. Tell me. Go.
So as you are recounting this lesson, this memory, it's almost like you can smell the flowers of High Garden again. You know, you see that bright sunshine. You see the beauty of the Reach. And you see the courtiers walking around in their fine silks. Inspired heavily by Dornish fashion more and more recently as Dorne entered the kingdom, which, you know, to your agreement.
Better.
On the on the outside, Lynette and Riona, you can see Naimor's hands that had been sort of lightly resting beside him are starting to like twitch as if he's gesturing, you know, with his classical, when he's learning and teaching, he gestures and his hands are twitching as if something is hitting him. Something is getting through.
In case you want to know, I believe it's a healing diagnose at a difficulty of a 3, I believe. I will double check, but I believe it is a 3 to diagnose this one. Double check. Because it was pretty low.
Mm-hmm.
This one's not as esoteric.
I mean, I'll roll for it.
You could try if you like.
3. It's a difficulty 3.
We'll see. It's possible. I could do it. With a 9.
9. Okay, so Riona, you know, you seeing Naimor's hands twitching as if he's mid-rant or mid-lesson, you know, thinking back, you know, like, what? Come on, Naimor, tell me about this. It unlocks that memory in your mind of that day in High Garden.
Naimor, I was 12. Honestly, why do you think I remember all of these things all the time? Sweet sleep. Where's his stupid sweet sleep? And then she'll like start look at Riona.
I'll check. I'll find.
Why is he drinking?
I'll take a look in his storage if I can find. How? Why sleep?
Did your brother do this or someone else?
Why would Brendan do this?
Did somebody poison Naimor and kidnap your brother?
Yeah.
I was about to ask the same thing. Do you think whoever attacked Brolin, they sent other people back home, back here? I'll look.
Okay.
And like Lynette goes over to the water. It goes over to the water jug and like kind of like starts drinking a lot. She's up, not looking well.
So Riona, as you look around, it's very easy to see that in Naimor's stores, there is definitely a vial missing, which doesn't take, you know, it's not a genius to put 2 and 2 together. However, Naimor, I would like you to roll me another willpower courage test, but I'm going to give you a bonus, a keep die, an extra keep die. So instead of the 3 you've been rolling, roll me 4d6 and keep all 4 of them. You do have a blue crit guy up there if you want to use it too, in your frame.
I'm concerned that I might need it for something else, so I'm going to take the 4 and hold that just in case, because maybe, you know, because I just am worried about what's going to happen today. That's all. Hey, chat.
Can I give Naimor one of mine?
Do you know what? Because it's the finale, and I'm feeling generous. You can.
All right.
Oh, wait. How do you do it?
So it's just an extra keep die. So, but how does Riona? Yeah. Narratively, yes. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. I think before she goes and has that conversation with Lynette about the sweets, like she'll hold Naimor's hands, like, come, please. I don't know what happened to you? What happened to Brendan? There's no one here that knows what happened. We need you. We need you right now. Please. And she'll put his hand up to like her head. It's like, please wake up.
22.
So the power of love comes through. And Naimor, you hear Riona and you feel that warmth, and that you hear that tone of her voice, that pleading. And you feel, as your body before, you felt like you were suspended, weightless, motionless in this sort of liquid. You feel like your body is beginning to get weight again, that you have more control over your fingers and your arms. You feel like you can make movement in this water now.
I will swim. I will swim. To my right is the coast. I swim to the right. I try to go back to the land, to the coast. I should not be in the water. I should get out. If they need me, I know this way is Greenwall. I am going to swim as best as I can toward the land.
So the more that the effort you put into it, the more it feels like really swimming. You feel that weight of your clothing, pulling you in the water. You feel that drag as the water rushes through your fingers. You feel that burning in your lungs from that breath that you are holding. And it's moving and moving. You feel that rush, and it's beginning to get colder and colder, like the ocean, like the sea. As you're getting closer and closer to that surface, closer and closer to that land. And as you reach out that final arm to put your hand on the shore and pull yourself up, you feel your lungs take that deep breath, and they burn as if they've not been used for days. And your body feels heavy. Your eyes feel like there's just so much sand in them. You feel that grain, but nonetheless you feel.
Start to cough up as if I'm drowning.
I think
As you cough,
Lineth
salt water just explodes out of your body.
I sort of flip over on my side as I sort of cough up, I suppose, salt water and sand.
Naimor?
You are back. It's been 2 weeks.
Yes.
2 weeks? 2 weeks.
Not quite. About a week, maybe less than that. We had some complications in Winterfell. We'll get to all of that. How are you doing? Where's Brendan?
I have been poisoned. Tell me, was I under for 1 day or more?
More.
This is important.
More than...
More. It's not good. Okay, this was... okay, I was poisoned. This is... it was sweet sleep. I tasted it, but went too quickly. It was too big of a dose. It was... don't worry, it was...
Naimor, what went over here? There seems to be something missing.
He is clearly pondering what he should say right now. Like, once you said that the vial was missing, there was like an oh, and now it's what do I say? Like, there's clearly a sort of a calculation about what should be said at this moment. There's like it was like a confusion, vial missing, oh, what should I say? Right? Like it was that moment where there's like a coming out of the fog. You've come early. This is no good. I am very hungry. Where is everyone? He says with a slightly weird jump.
Lyneth reaches down and like offers you the cup of water that she's had, and she goes, Brendan is missing. You've been unconscious. Brolin is back and he will need your attention because things are complicated.
What?
And I'm assuming if you've been unconscious, then nobody's been getting any of the ravens I've been setting, which means Brendan doesn't know.
Know what? We received one raven before dinner. From you? Is Lord Braddock well?
Naima, why do you not call Brolin by his name?
He is my lord. We are not. That is not appropriate.
Naima, you are my friend. I need you to listen to me as I say this from a place of a friendship. I need you to walk into Brolin's room and act like you used to when we were in High Garden and actually could tell my brother to step the fuck off because he was being an asshole. Because Brolin is a very good fighter, but he'd had way too many fights in way too short a period of time. And I'm pregnant and I can't handle this much stress in my life, and Brendan is missing, and all these things are going wrong, so you need to stand this fuck up and actually talk to people.
He just
my
takes
brother
your
in
hand.
danger.
He just takes your hand. No. Come, sit. And he sort of gets up, and you can tell that it is not easy for him to do so. Sit here.
No, sit. Nymar, I'll and think Riona will help Lyneth to find a. She'll grab a chair and just have Lyneth sit. It was a stressful trip, Nymar. But the important thing now is we keep my brother safe and find Brendan.
Yes. Young Lady Braddock, if you would do me a favor, if you would alert Mistress Winifred that I am awake. If you would speak to the men-at-arms. We should gather a small group of scouts. Your brother will be found easily. This is no trouble. I suspect he has only gone walking without accompaniment. I think finding him will be not so difficult. Please bring. What is his name? The small one of the guard. He's the best scout, best wayfinder. What is his name? He's the sandy brown hair. I'm so sorry. What is it? I don't remember anything. No. William is his name. Could you speak to Winifred? Speak to Mace. Bring William here, if you would.
William, yes, I'll go. Have a couple of servants bring you some more water, some food. Some for you as well, Lyneth. I'll get things ready. I'll and she'll get up and find Winifred and kind of get this whole thing organized.
You find Winifred. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
He's going to turn immediately to Lyneth.
Okay, so Riona, you head out and you immediately find Winifred. She has been lurking, not right at the door, but close enough where she would be the first person to hear the news about anything to do with Nymor. And as you tell her that he is awake, she immediately bursts into tears, and has that moment where she has to compose herself. Before she says to you, I'm gonna bloody kill him.
Well, that can wait because he's at least awake, and you can yell at him later once he's fine. But we need servants to bring him and Lynette food and water. We need to find this young William. Nymor says he might know where Brendan went, and we need to. I'll get the man-arms to organize some search parties for Brendan.
Yeah, well, while you were gone, Lord Brendan took little Geralt under his wing as a squire, and he's gone too. I don't know if he went with Brendan, but I'll get William. I'll get some food sorted. Is there anything else you need, Lady Riona?
Not the. Do you know what? Was he acting strangely, Brendan? Anything unusual?
I mean, no more than usual, you know. And he's in there in the courtyard with that little look on his face, like someone shat in his porridge. But you know, that's just how he normally is, you know. There was nothing so different there. He was a little quiet, but I just thought it was the stress, you know, of him having to look after the keep on his own.
Damn it. And she kind of knows. She knows her brother, and like this, you can occasionally like. This is what happened when he. This is probably the same set of behaviors that he had before he stowed away on the ship.
Yeah, it's like, basically a mirror of what he had done previously.
So she'll compose herself and then continue on to like get the rest of the house ready to look for my brother.
Okay. As you do so, we will pan back to Nymor's study. The door is closed. Nymor turns.
Is your health well? You said you should not have stress. This is not. If you are with child, you cannot have stress. This is so important that you.
Nymor, right now, my stress level is rated by my friend being unconscious for multiple hours, possibly poisoned by somebody who kidnapped my good brother, multiple families of the North inciting treason and desiring us to aid in said treason, my husband almost dying in front of me multiple times in a 24-hour period, my good sister, who was so happy a moment ago, a few days ago when we had a very pleasant betrothal ceremony, and then discovering out that her betrothed is possibly involved in said treason and plotting against her. And oh wait, the Boltons may or may not be trying to assassinate my husband. So Nymor, pregnancy? Dealing with.
One moment. Just wait. Just breathe. There is so much. There is so much. But you always, this is the curse of Tyrell, of you. You always want to take care of everything at this moment, all of the times, all the places, of the people, and there is a frightening number of things to take care of at this moment. But in this moment, this is just... You cannot... Well, I say to you, as your maester, You are not allowed to do these. You are not allowed to travel, to do these things that you always with duty with you, always doing the thing you must do. And I understand the politics of this, but in this moment, I would like you to maybe just concentrate on yourself in this moment. I know there is much, but please, for me, please, just concentrate on your breathing and on your stress level and on where you are. I do not want... I would not do well if anything were to happen to you or to the baby. Congratulations on this. I know this. Please. Please.
This was not the way I wanted to have this conversation. There were many things going on.
If I may I, please? And he puts his arm out as if he's signaling that he would like to put his arm around your shoulders, but he does not touch you without permission. Hands are okay. Nothing else is okay.
I think Lyneth just kind of has this moment where she looks at him and goes, and he would see something in her face that he hadn't seen in years. It's like, oh, I am still your friend. And she would kind of lean in to him.
And he gives her this huge comforting hug. He's not burly, right? But it's Annette, you insult me. I cannot believe you would say this. Still your friend. I thought that I was more to you than just that. I thought I was someone more important than that. But...
Nymor, you haven't used my first name in 2 years.
No. It is... Well, you are the Lady Braddock, and that is... proper.
Nymor Mytal, when did you start being concerned about being proper? Was it before or after you dumped my sister? Or my sister dumped you?
Thank you. I did not dump your sister. That is not accurate. Your sister... Enough. I tried to do the right thing this time, you know? And also...
And you still had...
You...
And yet you still had your heart broken.
Well, I don't think maesters are supposed to have hearts. I think it is not allowed. But, you know...
When have you
may I tell
ever
you
done
something?
what a maester is supposed to do?
Eneth, may I tell you something? It is
Yes.
a small story. When I arrived here at Greenwall, I was 19. And I was the maester for Greenwall. The only maester for Greenwall. I was not a junior maester like I was with you, with other people. And I was, this is it. It was just me. And there's a lot of work, you know, big personalities and so many things I did not know. So many things. It was a little overwhelming. And you have to, you know, you must project confidence. You cannot undermine your own authority in these moments. You cannot. This is, or you are undone. if they do not believe you can do the job, that you can be the maester of a whole keep, of so many lands. And it was not easy, but there was no one at that moment who might undermine me by being... No, I will stop that story now. I will start with the second part of the story. We don't need to finish that. What I will say is that you also come here, and you are my age when you come here to Greenwall as the lady of this place, but you are not from the north. And let me tell you, these northerners, they do not appreciate fine wine. I will tell you this. And you are married to a man who they do not know. There's so much upheaval, and you are perfect at what you do, but what you do is not exactly the style. And I know you would adapt very quickly, but I thought it was important that you have all of the respect that you would need to be accepted as the lady of this place. I would never, ever undermine you and your authority in this place, ever, by being too familiar, or I would not want them to think that perhaps... I would never want you to feel the insecurity that I felt when I arrived here, when you arrived here. I know your training is good. I know it. I know that you could handle this always, always. But this was a tricky situation, and I just wanted only for your success. And I would do nothing to hamper your success, ever. And so I
Then
was
give me
more...
back my friend. Because my success also relies on being able to talk to appropriate people and getting appropriate information. And I need my
This
friend
I always
for
give you.
that.
No. I have always been your friend. Well, I like to think... close friend, I like to think. But you also did not talk to me. And I thought, with everything, all the changes, with all of that...
You had new students, Nymor.
Of course I have no students, they were young. But
I did not wish to impose.
Well, I would never impose on you. You have a husband who perhaps is a little jealous, and you know what they say about Dornish? They are hot-blooded and all of this, and there's so much. I did not want to stoke ire. I did not want to... It was hard. It was difficult. To sit at the table with the others, not with the family. You know, your husband almost never speaks to me. It is so strange.
Well, we're going to fix that right now. And she will stand up and like grab Nymor by the hand and like pull him up with her. We have been tasked by Lord Stark from rooting out rebellion and treason. Isn't that fun, Nymor? And I've just made lots of friends of the slightly more violent manner. So we need to get you introduced to my husband. Apparently the two of you aren't talking, and we'll fix this. And she just kind of keeps walking and talking, pulling Nymor along, and she like goes to Roland's bed. She roll in the room.
No, it is not. We speak. It's just not. Is that kind of like as I'm being dragged right along?
Okay.
It's not that we...
As Nymor finds himself being dragged along the corridors, we see a different kind of corridor in front of us. One made of forest, of snow, of wilderness. As Brendan, you are starting to see much more familiar territory now. You can see the mountains where Greenwall Keep is built, and you know that the pass is here and fairly easily climbable. This is the final stretch. You're almost home. I would like you to make me an awareness notice test, however.
Okay. Okay. 1, 6 plus boka 5. That's pretty good. 15.
15. Okay, so as you begin to ascend the pass, you can see just off the road a little in a smallish clearing the remains of a very tiny, meager campsite. And you can see beneath a thin layer of snow a strange lump.
Okay. I think Brendan would get off his horse and because now anytime something mysterious happens in these woods, Brendan will probably be alert for the rest of his life if it makes it past today. So as he kind of approaches the lump, he, I guess, would try to talk to it.
Mm-hmm.
Is anyone out there?
As you get closer, you can see that it definitely appears to be the form of a figure on its side, like curled up. With like a cloak or something thrown over the top of it.
How large is the lump? Is it like this figure?
It is not particularly tall, not particularly small. It is, you know, sort of average size. I'd say maybe like 5'8", 5'7"-ish.
Right in that scary range. It could be anything. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. I don't mean to bother you if you're sleeping, but do you need any help?
There is no
And
response.
he'll keep getting closer to it till he's about, I don't know, 5 feet away from it.
Once you're about 5 feet away, it's very clear that this is a person. And this is a person that is not moving, nor responding.
Brendan will kind of crouch down and grab him by the shoulder and turn him over to see if he can identify their face, since they're pretty close to Greenwall and maybe it's somebody that he knows.
Mm-hmm. So you take what you think is the shoulder, you roll it over, and the whole figure rolls over with a horrible creak of frozen. As you can see, curled up in a ball is the frozen body of your squire, Geralt. I'm sorry.
No! No!
I'm sorry, John.
How far is Rose and her 2 men away from Brendan at this time?
Rose is kind of chilling by the horse. Her arm is now bandaged. She's got like a sling going on. So she's like, if there's a fight, you're fucking on your own. But she's ordered one of her men to come forward, the one with the bow, so he can provide you some cover.
This is my squire. He died out here. And I think Brendan would start to try and gather all Geralt's possessions and start preparing it to transfer him by horseback, take him back to Greenfall.
You know, as you say this, Rose steps forward and she puts like a hand on your shoulder. Sorry, mate. We can put him in the boat. We can get him back up there.
Okay. I appreciate you all helping. I don't know why he was out here. I told him to stay at the castle. It's just odd.
Who knows, you know? How old was he? About 11, 12?
I think he was going on 13 here soon.
Well, kids are fucking stupid at that age.
And I think Brendan will give him kind of one last glance and see if it was for sure the cold that killed him, rather than just look for any signs of death, I guess.
Yeah, you look him over. There are no visible wounds. There's no like ligature marks or anything that would suggest that he'd been strangled or anything like that. He does just look like he unfortunately froze to death. I mean, you look over his little campsite too, and there's a meager bedroll that would be cold even in a room with, with a fireplace. His little fire, it would have been okay for like an hour, but would have soon burnt out. And you think probably that he made a little fire and just fell asleep and never woke up.
So sad. Shit. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm sorry this had to happen to you, Geralt. It's all my fault. And with that, I'll get back on his horse and kind of go into a different moody, broody boy mode that's not exactly mom and dad approved, because things just went from playful to kind of serious. Yeah.
All right. And with that, you begin that ascent to Greenwall. And I've just been informed that Trooper / Nymore had one more thing to tell Lyneth before I cut them off that scene. So we will transition as you make your way up the mountain with Rose back into the corridor.
And it's them.
And this would be right before they get.
Roland's room.
Yeah. Like, and right before they get to Roland's room, he would stop. Like, he would stop you from being able to drag you, like in a kind of like slightly abrupt way. Listen. And he steps very close to you so that what he says cannot be heard by other people, right? This is not a thing anyone else can hear. And there's a bit of a seriousness to his voice. There is something that you and I must speak about before we are in the presence of the Lord. It is about Brendan. I think he is fine. I think he went walking, but I believe, and he's choosing his words very carefully, and it is very clear that this is like, I'm telling you because I trust you. Like, it's a very serious, like, this is like, right? I believe that Brendan was the one who poisoned me. This, I do not think, would be wise information to put out quickly, without thought, I think perhaps it is better that no one knows this. I think this would not be good for Brendan. I think we could make a story that perhaps something else happened. We could make it so that
Right now, Brendan has currently had to leave the keep for a brief emergency to deal with a small matter of the small folk outside of the keep.
Good.
And that is what...
So I think, yes.
And while my husband, I and Riona, will deal with my brother, apparently. This isn't the first younger brother I've had to inform of things.
I have a thought. I am who I am. I think perhaps it would be easy for people to believe that I am just the sort who would perhaps indulge in sweet sleep and have too much and not know limits. And
I didn't indulge in anything. You had an unfortunate, very bad reaction to food poisoning. the family, you did not use the weirwood appropriately and were distracted, as you frequently are. And this was a reminder. And a reminder that we will heed. To pay more attention to what goes into our food. And to pay more attention to, not serving you fish that you are allergic to. Naimor, our family is currently believed by certain treasonous members to be supporting said treason. The Starks, who they desire to remove. We cannot have our maester be a drunkard and an addict.
But if you protect the family, the house, if we do so.
It wouldn't. In this
Very well.
moment, there's a reaction. And Riona and I will go in, and you will deal. You know what? No, you're not going to deal with. You're going to be introduced to Brolin, and you're going to help him not bleed to death from multiple injuries from people with sharp, pointy objects who like to apply them frequently.
We have our story. I leave it to you to explain. You are
and she
better than I am.
And she just kind of shifts her shoulders, perfect posture, opens the door and says, Brolin, this is my friend Naimor. Naimor, this is my husband Brolin. As you can see, he was very good at defending himself, but he would benefit from your expertise. And I think the two of you need to have a conversation without me here. And then just kind of shoves Naimor in and closes the door and walks out.
Oh.
We already know each other. He's been a maester here for 2 years. Is that was she trying to insult me somehow?
I thought she was going to be here to oh. Let me treat your injuries.
Well, there's a lot, so if you need to take a moment to brace your stomach for what you're about to see.
Do not mention stomachs at this moment. It's not the time. He's going to sort of sit and sort of spend some time diagnosing, not yet talking to him. There's going to be like some diagnosis, and then there's going to be going back to his cell to get materials, and then come back for bandaging, rebandaging, and then perhaps a conversation. But I'm excited. Before I would love for other people to have a great conversation that is not this thing that is going to happen. I'll make a diagnosis.
Okay, so while Naimor is
14
desperately attempting to avoid the conversation, you figured out, he's been stabbed, he's been punched, he's had the shit kicked out of him. You can tell from looking at his wounds that he has been attended to by another maester, and the maester has done very fine work, especially with the slice across his stomach that has been stitched beautifully and looks already like it's going to heal very nicely. However, while this is happening, as Naimor is desperately avoiding a conversation for the first time in his life, we are going to cut across to the walls of Greenwall Keep with Riona. William is up here. Here's the scout that you had been tasked with finding. And he is currently on guard duty. He's on watch on the wall at the minute. And you can see that men have already started to fortify these walls a lot more. There are a lot more people up here since you arrived after the orders of Lyneth. And he's stood by, I imagine there's like a nice brazier up here to warm your hands on. And he, as you've arrived up here, has brought you to this brazier. So you're not going to freeze to death on top of the wall. I heard you've been looking for me, milady.
Yes, William. The family needs you to go out and find my brother.
Yeah, about that, milady.
I'm not one to brag, but I am, the best tracker that we have in our scouts.
Yes,
And
that's why I'm here.
yeah, I mean, I was out hunting the day that Lord Brendan disappeared, and I saw him going off, and I was very curious as to where he was going. It was not my position, of course, to know where a lord is going, but I did follow him for a little time, and I saw him head to this place. I can't quite describe it. It's a little ways away, a few days away. There's a bridge and some water, a river, a stream, something. And I saw him, and there was a camp there already of some people. And he approached the camp. And as far as I know, I was watching, there was no hostility, it seemed like he knew him. He was talking to him.
But yet he hasn't come back.
No, milady. And I've seen no tracks to give me any evidence otherwise.
Well, despite what he may think, he was supposed to be the steward of this place. I don't know what possessed him to go out days, but he needs to be found, and he needs to be brought back home. There's much we have to discuss with him. And that is why I'm here for you. You are the best tracker. You saw him. I'm going to need you to organize a search. You know where he could have gone, generally. You know the areas far better than I or anyone else here. So I rely on your skill to bring him back.
I can try, milady. I can try. How many men can you spare?
He needs to be found now, so as many as we can to have the minimum guard here, but the rest should be sent to find him, because the longer this goes on, the colder his trail will be, and the more trouble he'll be in.
Of course. Very well, I'll have a word with Mace. I'll get as many men as I can, and I'll get out there straight away.
Good luck. And I think
and he gives you like a small smile as he heads off.
Mm-hmm. And I think as she turns, she'll just mutter to herself, Brendan, I hope you are not dead.
Okay, so
I want to tell you myself, what the hell are you doing?
As you have this moment, as you stand, I imagine it's that dramatic, right? You're looking at the fire as you talk to William. You got that beautiful like underlighting, that warm lighting from the fire. But as he leaves, you have that sobering thought, Brendan, you better not be dead. And as you do so, you turn, you rest your hands on the wall and look out into the path that leads up into Greenwall Keep. And you hear, as you stand here and you watch the snow for a moment, you hear a small, a low horn sound. And the men on the walls take position, archers ready their bows as they stand on the edge of the bow. And you hear a call, "Rider and men approaching!" And you start to see a single figure on horseback and one figure walking, two figures carrying something large, appearing up the main path to the keep.
All right, I'll go to a few of the men and just send someone out there and see what that is. Find out what they're holding, because I think she doesn't see the fig, she doesn't see individual figures, she just sees like they're carrying something, and she's it's like, hopefully it's not him, hopefully it's worst case scenario, it's the people are bringing back Brendan.
Okay, so you send someone down to see who it is, see what they're carrying. And Brendan, you as you get closer, you can see the walls, the green walls of Greenwall Keep, and you can see like atop the wall a lot more men than there were when you left, and a lot more men than is normal or usual. And you can see that approaching you is a rider, a single rider, in armor, with a sword at their hip, with a shield, and he rides up to you. And he looks, he kind of squints at you in the snow. Lord Brendan?
Aye, yeah. What's going
Oh my
on?
God.
Why are there so many men on the wall?
There's a lot of people in that keep that are going to be glad to see you.
Is my brother back? Well, the rest of them
Right, my
back.
lord. They arrived here early today.
And you notice he's kind of slightly distraught by this, which to him might not mean anything, but they were supposed to be back in 2 weeks, not in a week and a couple days. Okay, well, thank you for letting me know. This
So
is
from
Rose.
atop, and the soldier looks at Rose, nods, "Milady," and she's like, she gives him like the shitty look, like, I'm not fucking lady, but she doesn't say anything. And atop the wall, Riona, you can see the rider having this discussion with the figure before the rider escorts them into the keep. And as they get closer, you see the unmistakable form of your twin brother, Brendan, on horseback.
I think as soon as she sees that it's Brendan, she'll head down to meet them.
Mm-hmm. So you, dash down for the wall into the courtyard, just as Brendan, Rose, the two men, and the man-at-arms arrive in, and you see there Brendan stood there in the midst of the courtyard, your sister.
Brendan would get off his horse and start running towards her in kind of a tackle, hug, spin moment, because this is the longest twins have ever been apart in the history of their lives, right? You've never even left the castle, so this is like, oh my God, you're back! I missed you!
Oh God, what happened? I thought... Here, God.
So much has happened.
What were you doing out?
Nymor was sending letters, and we were looking for Rose and prophecy, and it's been crazy. How was Winterfell? What?
She just she gives you a really pained look. I wish I'd never gone, but you're here. You're safe. We'll get.
Of course I'm safe. Why is everyone worried that I wouldn't be safe? I'm the best archer in the Seven Kingdoms. Come on.
You were gone for days. Nymor has been unconscious. We thought someone had gone to him and kidnapped you, or did worse.
You want to hear
Your
worse?
brother almost
I ran into a
got
direwolf, and I killed it. I killed it, Riona. And he's like all pumped that he finally did something of notice.
Well, thank God that was archery. Your shooting still came in handy, I guess. But
but by the way, this is Rose. This is maybe who Nymor's been writing to, and these are her men. And when while you were gone, I took a squire, and I told him to stay in the castle after I went out into the woods hunting, and he seemed to have passed in the night. We should give him a proper burial when we get a chance.
What?
I know, a lot has happened in the last 10 days.
Okay. Well, you look tired, and that's... Are you hurt at all?
No, I'm fine, but Rose could probably see you, Maester.
All right. We'll get some people to look at her, and come in. We'll get you some food and some water.
Okay,
should-
where's
what you
Naimor
said, we should
and
talk.
Roland and Lynette? We should probably all reconvene, yeah? Or
Yeah.
see someone. I haven't seen Naimor
Guess
in
we'll-
a few days now.
Yeah, so hopefully it's just regained his strength today, just momentarily. So appears everyone's fine as we can be. But
Wait, did you
let's go
say?
inside?
Did you say something? Naimor's regaining his strength.
He's been unconscious for days. Brendan, that's why we thought something happened to you.
And I think, Riona, you would definitely see a shift in Brendan's face. That he's taken aback that Naimor's been unconscious, or whatever Brendan believes in his mind is happening to Naimor. Well, that's do we know who did this to Naimor?
Not at the moment. She'll give you a little bit of a look. But he's fine. Or appears to be fine. I don't know. Let's get inside.
All right, then.
All right. And we've just unlocked a boon for our grand finale. So we'll see what form that takes. But I'm going to say that there'll be a little bit more wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey as Lynette, you have been attending to things that you absolutely can't ignore, right? You've just arrived back here. You've got Naimor situated with Brolin. That problem sorted out. You've got someone looking out for Brendan. That problem sorted out. You know, it's kind of like that thing, right? Where you get home from a trip, a million things divide your attention, and you're like, oh shit, I still need to unpack. You know, like there's always something, right? Yeah, but you're attending to that. You've been attending to that. Riona, you know, you've had Brendan, got him sat down, got some food. You've got Rose and her men. You've got them, you know, seated and fed. And a little time has passed as you are all back gathered in the hall of Greenwall Keep. It is a meal time. There's been a big sort of hearty meal put on, especially because it's getting cold. There's like a thick stew with beautiful, nice bread, some roasted meats with gravy because it's the north, so everything's got to have gravy. You know, roasted vegetables. Like, this is a really good spread that's been put on. Like, this would make your Yorkshire granny go, "Oh, that's grand," which is how Yorkshire grannies talk. So, Brolin, you have been brought down from your chambers. And the family is once again united. Rose and her men have been seated kind of a little bit off to the side, not as in like you're shunned, just because it's not like Winterfell, right? There's not a huge big feasting table that could accommodate everyone. So they have been seated and they are given, you know, plenty of food and water. They have been disarmed. Their weapons have been taken from them. Rose was incredibly argumentative about it. But I think after a while, she was like, I've got one fucked arm. What am I going to do anyway? But nonetheless, they are quite happily sat there just chowing down whilst the family have this moment together.
And I would, of course, go to my regular table, which is...
Oh, the minute you start to do that, Lynette grabs you and is like, no. We need you here to make sure that Brolin doesn't injure himself. And she'll like shove you. She's like seat you next to Riona. Aggressively.
Which is like, because I imagine we actually just maybe didn't talk while I was bandaging you. Like, it was like a...
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna roll my
Like,
roll.
yeah,
Roland
I
would
think
have like looked on expectantly for you to say stuff because he wouldn't have known what to...
No, I think it just would have been awkward. I think it would have been just, you know.
I love that. You know, a lot of like very manly nodding and yep.
And then at the end of it, just a pat on the shoulder.
There.
They did a good job here. Ailment or injury? Injury rather than ailment?
Injury.
Ailment.
Injury.
Mm-hmm. And I will now use my last and only bonus die. That's what I will do, because you got to keep your lord not dead, and that's like a really important thing. So that's what I'm gonna do, by the way.
Well, thank you in advance.
All right.
I guess thank you now.
16.
16 is very good. Nymor, as you're looking over Brolin, you correct, I think, a little bit of the stuff that where it's safe to do so. You're not going to redo all his stitches because that would just be a disaster and would probably kill him. But, there's a little areas where, that could have been a little better. So we're just going to tweak that. That ointment, you really used that ointment with that. And then you used, something else with your own unique blend.
Inappropriate. Like, wipe off that bad ointment, put in the better ointment. Come on now. Like, none of that.
One's even got like a little like tingle and cooling sensation to it, for some of you like bruising. It's just soothing. It's like tiger balm, like a little menthol, just to make it feel a little bit nicer. So Brolin, by the end of it, you are not freshly healed and can fight a war tomorrow, but you're going to heal quicker, and you are not feeling as stiff or as in pain as you were previously, as Nymor has really tended to you in terms of like pain relief and just general comfort. I mean, obviously you did have your stomach cut open, but so that's not going to feel great, but better.
But I feel like with that 16 for healing, I might perhaps be able to say that it also looks nicer. Like, first off, I feel like some of those stitches were, aesthetically not pleasing, and I feel like you can just make, and some of the bandages, first off, they were not, there's an art to making your bandaging look stylish, and not boring. And like, what is that? Also, come on now. So I just feel like his dressings just look aesthetically pleasing. Like, they just look nicer. They're not boring.
Why is there a bow on my nipple?
I think Nymor has a stash of really nice Dornish silken bandages, because these Northerners just use any rough spun cotton, and that will not do. That's going to stick to a wound, and that's going to make the wound, that's going to be horrendous. But get that nice Dornish silk. Yeah.
In a nice color. Like, I imagine actually, this is Dornish silk, which means I brought it with me, which means it wasn't all set up for like, like house colors. I imagine it's a really nice lavender. Like, it's like which of course is like super expensive. It's a really nice lavender, kind of like a pale. Yeah, it's a really nice sort of lavender silk, and we're gonna fix all that right up there. Mm-hmm. He looks pretty.
It's probably the most attractive he's ever looked.
It's a lot of care and attention to detail,
but no conversation.
And as Nymor, he would have gone like, look, it looks nice. It feels good.
It does. Yes.
Well, yeah.
I hope you were not ambushed. Some of these wounds look very. How do you? It's not practice. I'm glad you're alive.
He's an assassin.
Oh,
they send those after important people, so. Yeah.
We should probably increase security here at the keep. If I assume you killed this assassin.
He smiles. Yeah.
Quickly or slowly, please.
Should have done it slowly. Did it quickly.
Efficiency. We should.
He had orders written on what looked like hide, skin, something.
Yeah, it would be
murder
cheap.
this. extremely charming, attractive
Oh,
lord. Yeah, something like that.
well,
I can't remember.
I would love to see the note because language use, what kind of wording use could give away, who might have made the note. People have different lords have. It's actually very I'm sorry. And it just starts bandaging again. Almost. It's like nope. Almost went.
Okay,
yeah,
so I imagine.
I gave it to
sorry, go
Lynette.
ahead.
I was going to say, I let Lynette take a look at it.
She's very smart.
Yeah.
We should go to.
I'm lined out. Can I stand up? Because the last time I tried to stand up, someone threatened to kill me. So, and it was the other
Did you kill
maester.
them? Oh
No, I think it was a joke.
oh,
He's very old and frail.
Well, wait. I know of him. He's very well regarded. He's not fun, but you. It's again. It's like nope.
Were you going to say something?
No.
Sounded like you were going to say something.
I want you to. It would break Lady Braddock's heart if anything happened to you, and so nothing should happen to you.
I'm a lord. Actions have consequences. I can't live in a world without consequence, right?
No, but you do not have to invite, you don't have to tempt the greater mysteries. You can, you cannot defy the greater mysteries, but you do not have to, tempt them as well.
I was trying to do better for our house. I've got a sister that feels spurned. It doesn't sit right with me.
No, we will take care of this somehow. There are ravens to be sent. We will talk, have a council. May I ask you a question?
I mean, I can't really do anything about it now, can I?
Well, you are my lord. You can say no. I wish permission to speak.
You should never feel like you should keep anything from me. I'm not trying to be like that.
Well, there's always appropriateness. I will ask you this question. It is the one question that I want to know for me. When you kill the people, however many people you have killed in your life, what were your feelings when you did this? Did you feel angry? Did you feel frightened? Did you feel nothing? What do you feel about this?
These ointments and herbs and poultices and things that you use in your work, do you feel bad about ripping the leaves off of the plants for the ointments and the herbs?
Well, it's a difficult question. It's a difficult question because there's more than one answer. Before, I would say no, because I was not aware of the way that plants Before I would say no, because I did not understand the plants. I was not as so understanding of the practicality of the religion of the North. But after I see the salt tree and all of this, I have slightly different feelings about it. I think with these plants, I do not think that the plants are seen through by the children of the forest. I do not think, or the old gods. But if I learned that they did, then I would have to think quite a lot about how to do this. Perhaps there is some sort of ceremony one could do to sort of ask the old gods if it's okay to take plants. I need to research this. I don't think that the old gods can see through the plants. The answer would be if they could, if the plants were part of, if they were felt it, yes, I would feel bad. Yes, if they were alive, if they were thinking, I would feel bad.
I do my best to make sure that they don't feel much. But a person is what they do. They do things. They accomplish things. To do that, sometimes bad things must be done.
If you do bad things, are you a bad person?
If you do one bad thing, is your whole life marked as bad?
If you do many bad things, if you murder,
I suppose if it perhaps works like a scale. If you do a lot of bad things, you can do a lot of good things, and you're not so bad. But I don't make the rules.
he tightens up the bandage, not in a way to, not just tucks it in, like squaring up the corners and edges. How do you feel about the bad things you have done?
I wasn't always in a position of power.
Mm-hmm.
When your options are limited, and it's do a bad thing or die, you do the bad thing.
But then I ask the question again. How do you feel about what you have done?
It hurts at first. I imagine it's like drinking your first mug of ale. You feel it the hardest. But the more you drink, the more you get used to it.
I would ask, and perhaps we may have conversations about this in the future. In the South, they may speak, you might speak to a septa or something, a septon perhaps, but you have not that here. Perhaps we should speak about this in the future, because to be a good leader, you should feel it. It is not a good portent if drinking the strongest ale is like drinking milk. And if you no longer feel it, you should. It is not good for your heart or your ability to lead the people if you no longer taste the alcohol.
I'm cutting back.
You're not doing a good job.
Well, first off, the one that messed up my face insulted Lyneth. What was I supposed to do? Not fight him?
That's understandable. Well, no, it's understandable if
Second
somebody
one.
insults.
Second one, Stark challenged me in the yard. What was I supposed to do? Not fight him? The
No,
third
no, of
one,
course,
an
yes.
assassin came for me in a hovel. What was I supposed to do?
Well,
Not fight him?
No, him you kill, yes. Listen, I'm trying to make a large, listen, I'm trying to tell you that the people in the Braddock land, some of them don't trust you. Some of them do, some of them don't. We have tried to make things, the rumors and the talk, we do our best to make this work. I think we have done very well, Lady Agatha and your Lady Braddock and myself. I think we've done a good job with the words. But people, when they speak to you, need to not be afraid of you. They need to feel that you have love for the lands and for the people, and that we told them you are a hero. We told them this, but we cannot just tell them that you are a hero. We cannot tell them that you worked to save the people if you cannot feel remorse. So, I would say, I would like to, if you even want to, if you do not, then it is so. Then that is the house that I serve. But if you want to discuss death, killing, what this means to be a man who kills or who does not, what does it mean to have done what you have done to these lands, or what has been reported you have done, then I would listen to you. And I would hope that I could help you feel terrible, just awful. Get drunk again, as it were. I'm good with getting people drunk. But if you do not want this, if you do not want to feel, then I serve you as well.
The past is the past. What you're telling me right now is Southern doctrine.
Of course.
That is not
well,
how the North operates. They see power. They see strength.
I have overstepped
What
my bounds.
happened-
I apologize.
Now, if we are to rule this house as best we can, I will need you on board. And that means being honest. What
There is
happened?
no honesty with a man who has... I'm so sorry, my lord. Yes, speak.
No, go on.
Yeah.
You were saying
I serve the
about...
house. I serve the house, always, and with loyalty. That you can always rely on. I will never give you bad advice. I serve to the best of my ability.
If
and I will serve the house that
were
you create.
to roll over when someone insults my wife, if I were to lie down when someone invites me in the yard for training, then I would be dead when the assassin came for me. I cannot say this for everyone, but I hit hard. I make
know.
an impact.
Yes.
So at Winterfell, when our house was shat on for hundreds of years, I did the best I could to make a showing. You need to believe that.
I believe you are a fierce warrior. I have never doubted you. And come, we should probably come to dinner. My lord?
We shall. And I'll try to search
He'll help
around
you
the
out.
table for like his axe, and then no, I got it. and then put the long axe and like lean up on it, and then just kind of use it to walk to the dinner table.
It would not be advisable. You should have help. But I understand. Showing. I give the advice. You do not have to take it. And I will step one step behind him and follow him into the dining room.
Okay. So that's the kind of atmosphere that I feel like is probably quite palpable between Nymor and Brolin at this table, as you are all here gathered.
And I sit because Lynette forces me to, but it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that the two of you could talk and that you've shared all of the important information about concerns that may have erupted in Winterfell. Brendan, we're so glad you're all right.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm all right too.
You're out there talking to the small folk.
You can say that. Yeah. I killed a direwolf. If that counts for anything.
Yeah. Wait, what?
It's,
A direwolf? And all, like,
Yeah. Yeah. Have you met Rose, Nymor? Didn't get to tell you, but I met some lady named Rose out in the woods, and she helped me kill a direwolf. So it seemed more of like your department. But yeah, she has a tooth from the direwolf. I didn't take one because I am not as quick on my feet as she is. So.
and
Wish
you
I would've done
left
that
it
one.
out in the woods. We could have mounted it in the hole.
Well,
head would be
I was undermanned. It was me. Rose had gotten beaten up. The two men. We didn't really have anything to transport a direwolf. They're quite big, very large.
At least he got home safely. Direwolf
Brendan,
could have done awful things.
And he just sort of leans over to Brendan, so it's not like taking up spaces. I just wanted you to know that while you were gone, I had an allergic reaction to shellfish. It's a different type than they have in the Dorne, and I was sick for a few days. And he just kind of puts his hand, like on your forearm a little bit. But I want you to know that it is all right. You should not be worried about anything. It happens sometimes when you don't use the weirwood branch so well.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that happened to you, Nymor. And as Nymor kind of puts his hand on his forearm, Brendan gives him a very small scroll.
Just being the subtle hand movement, just putting it. Gets the weirwood branch over the food. Says the thing, pass the weirwood branch along.
All right. So is this something that you are going to be attending to later, or are you going to have like a little sneaky read of it at the table?
You never sneak a note when people can look at you who are perceptive. You just wait until after dinner. Wait till after dinner.
You've got a lot more self-control than I ever do.
There are also some dangerous people around. You gotta be careful.
Speaking of Rose, welcome to Greenwall.
You can see her. She's like at the minute like stabbing a potato with her knife because her other arm is bandaged and in a sling, so like pulled up against her chest. So she's like chasing a fucking potato around her plate. But she stabs it and she turns to look at you and sort of respectfully half stands in her seat and nods. But she does say in a loud voice and kind of gestures with the potato knife, "Which one of you has been looking for me?"
I was not looking specifically for you. I was looking for this is a meal. We should speak after. This is time to eat. We will converse it is nice to meet your acquaintance.
And she kind of gives you that look like, we are going to have a fucking talk, before she sits back on her plate and just chews at the potato that she has skewered upon her knife.
And of course he looks after that. Just too much awkwardness. He just glances at Lynette because he knows that she's looking at him. Like, he knows when she said that, Lynette is going to look at him, so he's going to look at her to be like, no. Like,
And Lynette is just going to sigh and look at Riona and then Brendan and say, there seem to be some discussions that need to be had. We are a family. We need to be a family. I'm going to say something. It'll be very difficult for me. This is not how I was raised or appropriate, but apparently this is a thing that Agatha did, and there are worse people I guess I could emulate in this particular environment in a particular moment. There are those outside who wish these sea wolves of House Braddock to fall. There are those who wish the wolves of Winterfell to end. We cannot be divided. And that was one thing your mother always told me. The most important lesson from the founding of House Braddock is not about the fighting of brother on brother. It's about Ragnar the Selkie coming from the south and the water and ending the fight of brother on brother. For you are all one blood and all one family. And it is only together, the three of you, that you can stand against those who are howling at the door. And while wolves might have a pack, seals and sea wolves bond together and have parts. Alone you are hunted. Together you are not. So, I wish to announce that House Braddock will be having an heir. And I hope that everyone will celebrate with me. And she will reach out a hand and put one hand on Brendan's wrist and another hand on Brolin's wrist and like pull the two of them together across herself.
And I think at first you feel a lot of pushback from Brendan. He's like, no, I'm not touching my brother's wrist. But after a little bit, he surprisingly caves. This is how they do things down south.
Oh God, no, this isn't not what we do at all.
That's not,
No,
not what I meant. But yeah.
There'd be much better music at this moment if we were in the south. Something should be done about the lack of minstrels here. It's embarrassing.
Rose, do you know any songs?
She gives you the shittiest look, as if, why would you think I was a singer? Before you see her lean across the table and say a couple of words to one of her men, who stands up and he starts singing. And we're talking like this is that bit in the Two Towers as What's His Chops is riding off to his death and Denethor is eating the tomato. This is like that level of beautiful singing coming out of this really gruff looking guy who's definitely missing a couple of teeth, missing a finger. And, you know, he looks like he's had a long, interesting life, but he has the voice of an angel as he gets up and he sings a couple of ballads.
It was pretty good. I'm impressed. We could. Do you sing for them?
Lord Braddock, if I might, sort of leans over. These are sailors. They are well-known sailors. Sometimes of the taking of people's things without asking sort of sailors, you know. They are well known for their effectiveness. I think that perhaps less singing, but more perhaps. I imagine you would have your tactics, your sea tactics. This thing would, I think, be more impressive.
Good to know. Rose, you looking for work, or just kind of you go where the sea takes you?
Usually goes where the seas take us, where there's profit, where there's things to be made. But someone, and she looks at Nymor, has been poking around. It's bad for business when ravens show up where you're about to land, asking if you're about to land there.
It's not what happened, but that's not exactly what happened. That's fine.
That is exactly what happened.
That's not. That is.
I went, and she's like she gets up out of her chair. She went, I went to 3 fucking port towns, and every single one of them knew I was coming.
I was not looking for you.
When you put out a call looking for dangerous women on the sea whose name might be Rose or have anything Rose related to their names, guess what?
That is not actually. You know, did you read my message? You did
I
not
didn't read your
my
fucking message. No, how am I?
Exactly. You
And
don't-
she's. And she's starting to get spicy with you.
Yeah, and he's trying to get spicy back. There's just like a little bit like, then he's like, no, not in Dorne. We're in the north. It's not my table. You misunderstand the situation, mistress of the sea.
And she sort of gives you a squint. She says, we're going to have this chat later on.
Well, and he sort of leans forward with a slightly threatening air that you probably do not believe. And he goes, when we have this chat, we will have this chat with Dornish wine.
Okay. And she kind of, you know that thing where someone is intimidating in a way that you just don't expect, and you don't know what your reaction should or could be to that? She kind of just flounders a little, you know, her face is that the sort of like, what? Before she's like, fuck it, and she like downs her beer and she's just like chewing on some meat.
You have a lot of friends, Rose.
Could say that, yeah. My family have a lot of friends.
Yeah. Well, a lot of ships.
Yeah. A lot of banner houses as well. Fact. And then she sort of gets up from her chair and stands up and moves towards the table. Don't I know you?
Depends on where you're from.
Iron Islands.
Interesting. Which one?
Well, My family's from Pike, but I spent a lot of time on all of them, really. Good old Dad thought it was good for me to learn the family business.
Family business is good.
It is. Profitable, too. Not that I
You
need
just
to
come
tell
here.
you.
It's good to know. Something I can use. You just come here seeking Nymor, or you rescue me brother from a wolf? Or,
Hey,
or
I mean,
listen,
we-
the opposite?
I did the rescuing, brother. I put
It was
the
a bit
base
of
down.
both.
Brendan
Big
kind
give
of
and
looks
take.
on his shoulders, then looks at Rose. I seem to be just fine.
You were on your ass. Now we're on foot.
And that's my fault, how?
Just saying, it's a lot easier for a wolf to get someone on foot than it is on an us.
Then I'd recommend getting better with a bow.
Yeah, all right. But no, to answer your question, my lord, I'm not here for nothing other than the messages that one's been sending. Why, are you worried? You worried that you pissed someone off back there? You worried that... Who was it again? Who were you right sailing with? House Harlow might come back, want to claim their investment.
Investment. I'm not worried.
Maybe
What
you
can their
should be.
boats do against this right castle we got here?
You know as well as I do that we don't give a fuck about no castles. But
Well, you
castles have a
should.
lot of land. They have a lot of towns. A lot of fishing villages, actually.
Mm.
That's where the real wealth comes.
I'm starting to not like your tone, Rose.
Then by all means, my lord, I take it back and apologize profusely.
I had, if you're the enterprising sort, an interesting idea with you and your friends. A job, perhaps? Is if you could use the gold.
Depends what kind of job.
You done much work on the eastern coast?
A little bit here and there.
How do you feel about White Arbor?
And she smiles broadly with a wicked glint in her eye, as that is going to be the scene that we leave this, that frame, that wicked smile is where we're going to leave this scene. I have an epilogue scene. It is evening. You can see the dusk of the sunset, the bright, beautiful colors of a very rich, vibrant sunset. You can hear the lapping of waves on the shore. And the snow again is falling heavily as a cloaked figure moves between the two crystallized members of House Braddock's family. A gloved hand just lightly traces along the edge of their backs. As it approaches, torch in hand, the salt tree, where you see silhouetted against this brilliant sunset. The figure stands before it for a moment, regarding this fossilized ancient tree, and is clearly looking around at the branches with the torch. The gloved hand reaches up and plucks a single bloom from the branch of the tree. and the camera turns to view this figure silhouetted, hidden with a hood mainly, as you see this single crystallized, almost like a crystal ice flower in its gloved hand. And the hood falls back as you see long, pale white hair, a single red eye, as Blood Raven himself says, interesting. As the screen cuts to black, that is where we leave our story. You're right there, Prax?
I'm fine.
Okay. Woo. So that is the end of For the North. I feel like this is a campaign that could have run for like 300 episodes and we still wouldn't have covered or touched everything that we had delved into. But unfortunately, our time today is running out, so we had to end it where we did. But I want to thank you all so much for joining us on this journey in Westeros. It's been an absolute blast, and I've gotten to do my Yorkshire accent a lot, which has been a lot of fun. And my cast and crew here have been absolutely fantastic and amazing. Just want to give a huge shout out to my cast because they made this show the absolute chef's kiss, top tier, cherry on top game that it was. And yes, but anyway, before I start. No, quit it. Anyway, I'm going to quickly pass over to someone else so I can avoid all this attention. But Johnny, thank you so much for playing, fam. This was an absolute ride and a joy.
Yeah, Sus, thank you. This was awesome. I feel just overly spoiled. To catch everyone up on my experience, I took a slight break from tabletop roleplay for a couple of years. I've been playing since I was 12, and I took a couple of years off just with college and whatnot. And now I feel like, damn, my first comeback, I've already peaked like in the game from playing with you guys. So I just feel so overly spoiled and like so honored to be a part of this game. Compliments are coming as compliments are coming. So I have to do it because I take notes as I do every session. Suze, just how many characters you portrayed, even in the most minor scenes, even fucking William, just at the end, just some pompous scouter. You just have a knack for making these characters feel so realistic and part of the world. And I big hats off to you. It was amazing getting to play with you, and I appreciate it. Shauna, it was so great to get to play your twin, and I was really excited to get to explore the child side of our characters, which was really cool and at least a cool change of pace for me. So I'm glad we got to share a couple of intense, happy moments together. Bill, you're just the best, man. You bring an energy that I just look at you on the screen sometimes and I'm like, damn, I'm so glad that I got to be in the show, and I'm so sad that it's over because I won't get to see that energy every Monday that kind of keeps me going through the week. So just thank you for being you, man. Prax, I gotta say, I think you stole, besides Susie being a OG beast every day, you stole the show today. I have like 9 Prax notes written down. The make a scene comment, the you boys need to have a talk scene. I'm a pregnant lady and this shit is just over with. Like I love it all, and I think if I gave the star to someone, it'd be you today. So seriously, I loved Lynette, and watching her develop was awesome. Troop. They said you were top tier, and I don't think that doesn't describe how it is role playing with you. Yeah, Troop is seriously. Please go follow all of these people. But Troop, like, I love Nymor so much, and I wish he was a character in this Game of Thrones universe. And I think that says it all. I'm JOHNNYBLAMZ. You can follow me on Twitter if you want to find my stuff. That's all I want to say. Thank you guys seriously so much. This was beyond words of how great. So thank you guys.
Oh, thank you so much, Shauna, friend. It's been a delight to get to play with you again in Game of Thrones. And I still came for you again.
Still. No, it was fantastic. This was a joy to play with you all in. I loved each and every one of you. It was so lucky to go through this. I'm gonna miss the being in the Braddocks for a while, so just say that I'm gonna miss it was great uniformly, and I'm glad there wasn't there wasn't the family on family thing. I was so afraid that one of y'all was gonna kill the other one in a little bit. So
Just a couple of lies to make the medicine go down. That's it.
yes. But yeah, I'm Shauna FLYINGSCIRIUS, and I have art and the games, and that's pretty much it. I follow these wonderful people, and everyone here is so great.
Thank you, Shauna, for bringing Riona to this family. She was the dose of just wholesome niceness, and also, though, definitely would cut a bitch energy that this family needed, I think. Absolutely. That moment on the wall, I was like, oh, she's powerful. She's powerful. She doesn't even know. Someone else who is powerful, a powerhouse, and just a delight to play with. Bill, hi, friend.
Hey, compliments are hard.
They are.
Yeah, this has been a blast. Mainly because our episode 0 in hours, like total hours amongst everyone involved, was like a week. Rolling up our house, rolling up our characters, even Susie independent, us like talking with each other about our characters, and it's what I live for in the TTRPG universe, streaming or not. It's what brings folks together, and that's what's important, because wherever you're at, probability states that now you're not doing as great as you were a year ago. So it's in times like that when things are down, you gotta connect with people, and you have to learn how other people listen. You need to learn how to listen to other people. You need to be more collaborative. You need to learn more about the way you do things and the way other people do things, because that's the community is what makes the world go round. And I was blessed and honored to get to play with all of these fine folks. I want to go and do what Johnny did and list off of things, but I didn't take any notes, and I don't want to misspeak, but they're all amazing and awesome, and follow them and watch all their stuff. You won't be disappointed, because they all do amazing things. There's nothing but joy and happiness coming from me, and these folks works in the things they do. And that's what makes the TTRPG scene great, is passion and joy. Yeah, if you want to follow me, I'm Bill of the Forest. Coming up right after this, I'm on LFM Network, Journey to the Obsidian Spire. We'd appreciate a watch there. If not, no big deal. Do what you like to do. Be nice to others today. Be kind. That's it. Signing off. Thank you for everything, Suze. And Lydia. I didn't forget. Lydia, you're the best.
And before Lydia cuts the broadcast so we can't compliment her anymore, but someone who I will never get tired of complimenting. Oh, my segues are on fire today. Prax.
Well, I appreciate the compliments, but they should go equally back to you and to Lydia, but definitely to you. Thank you for this wonderful game and this wonderful powerhouse of emotions in the correct way. I have so many questions still to be answered, but that's okay. I feel that Lyneth got what she wanted. She just had to be an emotional, like, damn it, I'm pregnant, I'm going to cry now, to get what she wanted.
Hey, look, she's going to use every tool in her arsenal, and sometimes it's the I'm an angry pregnant lady, just get your shit together button works.
It does. And I have all of the love for Johnny and Shauna and Bill, thank you, and Sugar, of course. All of you are wonderful, and I just loved every moment of that and everything that happened. I loved the twins. I loved the awkward conversations with Nymor. I loved the "and here's my friend?" I'm bringing home to dinner. Okay, Brendan, I see you. We'll talk. It's fine. But as for me, I'm at DeirdreDonlan on Twitter, or PraxGorthesmia4 as you see me around on Twitch, your friendly neighborhood Prax. And to this week on Friday, you can find me over on Wandering DM for the season finale of Cyberpunk Red. And you can check my Twitter, because some announcements will be going up about some new things that are on my channel. Also, on Saturday, dear friend of Encounter Roleplay, Pope World Build, will be doing an Inside the RPR studio for the, breakdown of the campaign I just finished on my channel with Trooper, the Regiment. So come hang out with us, and if you have questions, tweet at me, because they might end up on the show. Who knows?
Well, thank you so much, Prax, again. And please do go check out Prax's content. It's top tier. And I can't wait to see these announcements. Exciting. Someone who is top tier, who I love to see on my screen, who I love to hear talk about all that they are passionate about, Trooper.
So, you know who's awesome? Susie. And also Lydia. And I'm just going to start with that. Hey, I'm Trooper SJP. How you doing? Woo-hoo. Hi. You can find me at Trooper SJP on Twitch or Academic Foxhole on Twitter. And I do stuff. And then if you go to my Twitch channel, you can find it. So instead of that, I'll start with Susie. Susie's amazing. It was so wonderful playing with Susie. I've always, I felt very supported as a player. I felt very safe as a player. But I also knew that she was going to go and like give it to us for good, like, because I like some really good drama, and it's one of those things that because she makes me feel safe, then I know that we can go for all like the top dramaticness and her accents, her characterization, her surprises, the way that she pulls things out in this way that is like you didn't see it coming, but once it happens, you're like, oh yeah, of course, right? And even at this last moment, the last 10 minutes of the game, she gave us new information that I was like, well, now I need to next week, because but okay, well, Pike, right, like all this really great information that you're like, oh my gosh, so what that means is then, and if that means that, then okay, so the next week we're gonna wait. I mean, it's just like the sort of level of commitment to excellence, the quickness of her mind is so fast, like putting these things together in the moment, the way in which she's so collaborative with the players, like it's just, just so good. And also Yorkshire Grannies, like that's just all the moment, like really. And also the party was split multiple ways, and she was able to herd cats and make a coherent, beautiful thing with amazing pacing, just such wonderful GMing, and you're going to take that compliment. That's all I'm going to say. And that's it. It's yours. Johnny. First off, I love that you're able to get good sexual tension with Rose, like right there at the table. Like you have not even like hung out with her very long, but it was like, oh yeah, no, I see what's going on between those two. Like it was right there. It was like these little things you're able to do that were so amazing. The little secret note that you slipped Nightmare, which I read, by the way. I know what it says. I was like, ooh, again, next season. What? They're like all these amazing things. And I love the ways in which you were able to sort of deal with you didn't make your sad boy like a stereotype. You made him very interesting and complicated. And when you found Geralt, the way your voice broke, when you that was, it was heartbreaking. Like your performance there was so effective, so amazing. I just gotta give you love for that one. Shauna, I was like, oh, because you weren't originally going to be here, but then you came in and I was like, oh, we're getting a new person. That's cool. And then it was so, you have such, you played her in such again, I think what's really great about everybody is all the nuance. So much nuance in every single person here in a way that is impressive, that it takes the kind of work you did as Riona, you can only do if you thought about your character a whole lot. Do you know what I mean? Like there's there are people who don't think about their character and they're doing their thing, but you clearly thought about her in such a way that I always knew where I was in relationship to you and what that meant, and I was always inspired as a player by knowing you and knowing that you knew your character so well, and the way in which you could see the sort of the Riona who had never been outside before, the wonder when she got to Winterfell, but then the heartbreak, and then the oh no, but then also the way in which when Rihanna said, he's supposed to be the steward, right? You could see all of her history in that one comment, right? The ways in which she has been training to be a steward all this time, learning all of those skills. And if she had been here, none of that would have happened, right? Like you could see all of that. And it's like this really complicated set of feelings that I know is like deep within her. And like the way that you can just make one line say all of that is beautiful. And Billy, whom I love so much, Billy, your Brolin is so fascinating. I was so happy to have a conversation with you at the end, and you never know how that conversation is going to go, and it went somewhere I didn't expect, and I was like, wow, that is like a whole different thing that I had never expected that, and it changed our relationship forever in this, well, maybe not forever, who knows what will happen in 2 years time, but like it changed our relationship in this way that was so interesting and fascinating, and that's the kind of thing that only happens when people are really there with you. Do you know what I mean? Like, and like your presence enabled a thing that I just want to have like a whole after show where we talk about Brolin a whole lot. That's what I want. That's how inspiring you are. Hug. And Prax, your Lyneth is the most, I just want to give her the biggest hug. Like she is so in control, but you know that she's also like the youngest daughter of the second wife, and she has all of this happening, and she's my buddy Lyneth, and I just only want goodness for her. I just worry about what's going to happen in the war because like badness is happening, and I know it. Winter's coming. Also the Boltons, but the ways in which you're able to. I mean, first of all, I know you from before. I know your commitment to character, and I know that your commitment to really thinking about it, and not just your character Lyneth, but really all of us together. But all of the knowledge you brought to the creating of the house, Greenwall, the moss, all of these things. It's just like a real commitment to the team that I am always impressed by, and it's always a joy. So, and Lydia, you're not going to be ignored. Your voice in the sky, who's kept us here, and who did that amazing when the stream went down and it, like rebuilt the entire overlay system like in like 13 and a half seconds in the middle of pressure. I am so impressed by you taking care of us, like I don't know, like Oracle, like a superhero in the background who's like just taking care of us the entire time. So thank you for that as well, and thank you for having me. And Susie's amazing.
Thank you, Trooper. I will accept these compliments, even though it pains me to do so. And I know Lydia is recoiling as far back as possible in her room right now. But hey, Lydia, guess what? We love you. And thank you so much for being our handy-dandy tech this entire time. But yeah, as for me, I could go around and spend the next 3 million hours extolling my love for these people and the characters they have brought and the life that they have brought to this campaign. As I said before, it would not be half the game that it was without them. So thank you all, truly. And I just want to say thank you as well personally, as a little while back on my Twitter, I said that I was going to be taking a step back from doing TTRPG streaming in the new year, because I've been doing it for like 5 years nonstop, and I'm bloody knackered. But this is a hell of a high note to take that rest on. So y'all are going to power me through this little hiatus that I'm going on. So thank you all so much. And thank you to everyone at Encounter Roleplay, whether you watch us live on Twitch or watch us on YouTube, and you yell at us in Discord. We see it, we appreciate it, and we love you all very much. So for the last time, this is the cast of For the North signing off. Take care, everyone.